Later on, during archery class, Chiron pulled me aside and told me he'd fix my problems with Merriweather Prep. The school no longer blamed me for destroying their gymnasium. The police were no longer looking for me. "How'd you manage that?" I asked. Chiron's eyes twinkled. "I merely suggested that the Morals had been seeing something different on that day. A furnace explosion that was not your fault." "You just said it and they bought it?" "I manipulated the mist. Someday when you're ready, I'll show you how it's done." "You mean I can go back to Merriweather Prep next year?" Chiron raised his eyebrows. "Oh, no, they've still expelled you. The headmaster, Mr. Bonsai, said that you had, how do you put it, ungroovy karma that disrupted the school's educational aura. But you're not in any legal trouble, which was a relief to your mother. Oh, and speaking of your mother," he unclipped his cell phone from his quiver and handed it to me. "It's high time you called her." The worst part was the beginning. The "Percy Jackson, what were you thinking? Do you have any idea how worried I was you sneaking off the camp without permission on dangerous quests, scaring me half to death" part. But finally, she paused to catch her breath. "I'm just glad you're safe." That's the thing about my mom. She's no good at staying angry. If she tries, she fails. It's just her nature. "Mom," I told her, "I won't scare you again." "Don't promise that, Percy. You know it very well. It'll only get worse." She tried to sound casual about it, but I could tell she was pretty shaken up. I wanted to say something to make her feel better, but I knew she was right. Being a half-blood, I'd always be doing things that scared her, and as I got older, the dangers would just get greater. "I could come home for a while," I offered. "No, no, stay at camp, train. Do what you need to do, but you will come home at the end of the school year." "Yeah, of course. If there's any school that will take me." "Oh, we'll find something, dear," my mom sighed. "Some place where they don't know us yet." As for Tyson, the campers treated him like a hero. I would have been happy to have him as my cabin mate forever. But that evening, as we were sitting on a sand dune overlooking Long Island Sound, he made an announcement that completely took me by surprise. "Dream came from Daddy last night," he said. "He wants me to visit." I wondered if he was kidding, but Tyson really didn't know how to kid. "Poseidon sent you a dream message?" Tyson nodded. "Wants me to go underwater for the rest of the summer. Learn to work at Cyclops' forge. He called it an internship? Yes." I let that sink in. I'll admit, I felt a little jealous. Poseidon had never invited me underwater, but then I thought, Tyson was going. Just like that. "When will you leave?" I asked. "Now." "Now? Like, now? Now." I stared out at the waves of the Long Island Sound. The water was glistening red in the sunset. "I'm happy for you, big guy," I managed. "Seriously." "Hard to leave my new brother," he said with a tremble in his voice. "But I want to make things. Weapons for the camp. You'll need them." Unfortunately, I knew he was right. The fleece hadn't solved all the camp's problems. Luke was still out there gathering an army aboard the Princess Andromeda. Cronus was still reforming in his golden coffin. Eventually, we'd have to fight them. "You're gonna make the best weapons ever," I told Tyson. I held up my watch proudly. "I bet they tell good time, too." Tyson sniffled. "Brothers help each other." "You're my brother," I said. "No doubt about that." He patted me on the back so hard he knocked me down into a sand dune. Then he wiped a tear from his cheek and stood to go. "Use the shield well." "I will, big guy." "Save your life someday." The way he said it, so matter-of-fact, I wondered if the Cyclops eye of his could see into the future. He headed down to the beach and whistled. Rainbow, the hippocampus, burst out of the waves. I watched the two of them ride off together into the realm of Poseidon. Once they were gone, I looked down at my new wristwatch. I pressed the button, and the shield spiraled out to full size. Hammered into the bronze were pictures in ancient Greek style, scenes from our adventures this summer. There was Annabeth slaying a Lastagonian dodgeball player, me fighting the bronze bulls on Half-Blood Hill, Tyson riding Rainbow towards the Princess Andromeda, the CSS Birmingham blasting its cannons at the Charybdis. I ran my hand across a picture of Tyson battling the Hydra as he held aloft the box of monster donuts. I couldn't help but feel sad. I knew Tyson would have an awesome time under the ocean, but I'd miss everything about him. His fascination with horses, the way he could fix chariots or crumple metal with his bare hands, or tie bad guys into knots. I'd even miss him snoring like an earthquake in the next bunk all night.